Hello everyone and welcome to Lizzie Bags. On this episode we are going to be talking about my ACL surgery story. Recently I posted a what's in my dance bag / rehearsal bag, and I talked a little bit about my story, but I figured that some of you guys may be going through this or are curious because I mentioned it. So here's the full story from front to end, so to speak. So first off, it was back in 2011. I was in a show called Hairspray, which you may or may not have heard of, and I was playing Tracy Turnblad, the lead. And it was my dream show, and I was so excited, and we were like in Tech Week, which is the week before you open. You're kind of like spending longer days there, and then you are spending more hours in the theater getting ready for the opening night. So that's like hair, you add hair and makeup and lights, and it's all coming together, and that's what Tech Week is. So I was in the midst of doing Tech Week, and I was exiting off one of the sides in the theater, which was a theater in the round, which means that the audience is on all sides of you, and at this theater there are 4 exits. So I was taking one of the exits, and it had a couple stairs, so I took the first 2 stairs and then I leaped off the last 2 because it was super quick, and I was just like, well, I'll just jump. And I jumped and my knee went out, and it was so scary. I don't even know if it hurt necessarily, but I was so scared and so petrified because like immediately I was like, oh my god, what did I do and what's gonna happen? So everyone of course rushed around me and picked me up and took me into the theater. Luckily there was somebody there who was the assistant to the director, and she's kind of knows a lot about that kind of stuff. She's a massage therapist, so she was there to kind of talk me down off the ledge of being so scared, and my mom came and picked me up. So the next few days were a bit of a blur. I woke up and cried a lot. Yeah. I was not necessarily in pain, but I was really scared because it was very uncomfortable and I couldn't walk on it. And Tracy, as you may or may not know, is a dancer, and that's her dream, is to dance. So we braced it. We got a lot of braces for it, and we carried on through the week. And opening night comes, and I had done one night on it, I think. The night before final dress rehearsal, I had been on my knee. So it's opening night, and my director makes me re-audition for the part because he wants to make sure that I can do it and be everything he needs me to be as far as dancing and getting around on the stage. And it was also a matter of what kind of brace could I wear. So it was a lot of stress, The choreographer was there, and she may or may not have gone on for me. So my mom was in the room as well. They made me do You Can't Stop the Beat, the opening part of it, and I soldiered through. Now, that first weekend was terrifying. Luckily, I had an amazing cast who supported me immensely and were so kind to me and was always there, because I would get really freaked out. And obviously in the theater in the round, there's not just 2 entrances and exits like a normal stage, there's 4, so you have to travel a lot to get to all of those. So it was really intense, and I set up an appointment and had the doctors look at it and everything. And it was determined that I had torn my ACL and meniscus, and I was going to need surgery. Well, obviously surgery was an option while I was in Hairspray, because surgery means that you kind of go backwards. Like, your leg can heal so much a little bit if you don't fix it. So I'm not saying this was the best option, but it was the only option I had. So I completed 5 weekends on that knee doing Hairspray, and the first weekend was awful, and slowly as the weekends came through, I started getting better and better, and finally by the 5th weekend, Tracy could dance pretty well. I mean, she wasn't amazing, but she did a great job, if I do say so myself. So I had signed a contract to do another show, a tour through Phoenix Theater, the professional theater in the Valley, to do a tour of Unstoppable Me, which was a children's book that they were going to take to elementary schools. And it was a singing and very physical show, and on top of that we had to move the sets. We would unload the sets at the school and then do the show, then tear down the sets and reload them. And it was quite intense, but luckily my knee had healed enough for me to get through that. So that was in the fall of 2011. Yeah. And December 8th, I got my knee surgery, and I had been very fortunate to get one of the Coyotes, the Phoenix Coyotes, it's a hockey team, their surgeon was able to do my surgery. His name is Dr. Wazlewski, and he was unbelievable, a great guy, and I felt very safe with him. I was a nervous wreck because as an actress, and I think of myself more as like a singer, dancer, and then like an actress kind of lower. As those things, I need my knee. So I was very nervous about the surgery, but it went off without a hitch, and they did all they could do to repair it. Now, when I was doing hairspray, I went to see a physical therapist so that he could train my knee, and I decided to go back to him after my knee surgery because him and I connected like that, and we became really good friends. So he helped me through my recovery process, which was about December to April. I decided to quit. I think I was supposed to go longer, but I had gotten another contract and I was like, I've got to do this show. It's another, you know, paid acting gig, and I've got to do it. So I kind of quit on him, which might not have been a good idea, but it was what I wanted to do and what I felt I could do. And he actually told me that I was in the top 10% of recovery time, and I think that had to do with the fact that I was a dancer and that my legs were really strong already, but it was a rocky road. There were days where I was just like really upset with myself for taking those 2 stairs, leaping off those last 2 stairs, and I mean, my life would have been totally different if I hadn't done that, but I did. Now, this ACL and meniscus tear combo is very, very common in athletes. Hockey players, football players, basketball players, soccer, they all get them, and they get them a lot. And if you do it once, you're bound to do it again. So now I am super cautious, and I, when I feel that it is kind of in pain, I take it slow. No contract is worth re-injuring myself. So I have a sleeve like I showed in my dance bag, and I try to just take it one day at a time. It's been 2 years, almost 3 years. This December it'll be 3 years. So it's been a while since I've had my knee surgery, and she's doing all right. She's doing all right. So I hope that I inspired some of you if you're going through it, or if you have any questions, let me know. I can do a question answer thing. I forgot to say that they used part of my hamstring to create a new ACL, which is basically, it's in the knee. Never said this, but it's in the knee, and it's like muscle. It's a muscle tear, and it's underneath your kneecap. So they have to go through and, you know, create whatever. So I'm going to post some pictures at the end of this video if you want to see them, of me waiting for my doctor and me a couple days later. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I was more than happy to do some sort of ACL question answer thing, especially for people that just don't get it or understand or have questions. You know, I'm here for you. It's not easy, but it's something you gotta do if you want your knee. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and make sure to follow me on Twitter and tweet me your questions if you have any, and I'll answer them in another video. I'll talk to you guys soon, I guess. Bye!
Pretty girls come from the ugliest places. You come from the worst of them all. Heart Heartbreakers like you are hard to erase. You lift me up just so I fall.